What's up, Pensacola? You're locked into the beat with the beat man, Rich Navarre. The only show that keeps one ear to the streets and the other to a speaker cone, if you know what I mean. And I'm your host, the beat man. And today we're going to be diving into what's hot, what's wild, what's cool. And we've got a heck of a show for you today. We're going to be talking about a variety of subjects. And I have a very special guest on the show today. Mr. Jesse O Neal is here in studio. And I'm going to be interviewing him today. And we're going to be talking about a variety of subjects from all kinds of music to his experience as a luthier. The man makes his own instruments. And you may see some of them back there, right back there. And he brought them, and he's going to be playing. Once we're done with the interview, then him and I are going to sit down, and we're just going to let it go and see what happens. So we hope you enjoy it. All right, a little bit of news. What's in the news today? In the news today, especially, have you seen the clip of Cardi B? I just had to bring this up because I was going through my YouTube shorts and stuff like that, and I see Cardi B. I guess it was a Super Bowl party or something like that after the Super Bowl, but she was showcasing a robot. I'm not sure if it was a Tesla bot or whatever, but it was a short one, about 4 foot tall, but she came out and did her thing, and she looked all cool and everything, you know what I mean, and walked out in front of the robot, even give a robot a little bit of rear end on that, because I turned around, started stroking the robot, and then the robot fell on her. It just fell right on her. I don't know if you saw that now, but I thought it was hilarious. Now, she wasn't injured or anything. Nothing happened to her, so don't be jumping on me, okay? They jumped on things right away, the crew there, and they took care of it in short order. But I just thought it was funny. She was almost like she was getting ready to ask the robot to dance, and all of a sudden the robot starts to tip. Boom! And it's right, right on Cardi B. If you didn't get a chance to see that, it's on YouTube right now. Big announcement. This time every year, Bands on the Beach is coming back April 7th through the end of the playing and tourist year. And there's quite a lineup coming this year. As a matter of fact, the Calverts, I should say, Scott Calvert's band, he has Calvert's in the Heights, his restaurant, and he features live music all the time, and he is a consummate drummer and singer. But they're going to be opening on April 7th, so you don't want to miss that. Christy D and Bad Juju coming back this year. It was a great show last year. If you missed it, you missed a big one. And she'll be coming in May 12th to take the stage at Bands on the Beach. That's going to be pretty fun. Gretsch Lyles and the Modern Eldorados will perform in May as well on the 26th. That's a great show. Last year, I don't know if you remember the Eldorados playing or not, but I got a clip of, I was focused on Brandon Hamilton. He's the drummer and stuff, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And then he starts playing a very, very familiar riff that everybody recognizes. And I didn't realize that they were getting ready to launch into Rock and Roll by Led Zeppelin. It's great, I'm telling you. It's on my Facebook feed. Go to the Modern Eldorados page. I'm sure they've got a copy of it there. But seeing the Modern Eldorados do a Led Zeppelin song in their genre, the way they did it, because it was rearranged. It was for them all the way. It was a great show. You couldn't have missed it. Anyway, also Vinyl Revival plays Bands on the Beach July 28th, the day before my birthday. How about that? That may be a good show to see. Others on the list include Smokestack, Southern Breeze, Cadillac Willie, Disco Kiss, the new Cahoots, and Count the Years. Count the Years was there last year, and they've been invited back again, excuse me. So that'll be a good show. They did a great job last year. And to close out the entire year for Bands on the Beach, Horseshoe Kitty will be your final band for the season. We all know and love Horseshoe Kitty. They've been around the Pensacola music scene for quite some time now. And they're going to come and perform as the last show. So you don't want to miss that. Okay. Pensacola crowds show up loud. Okay. Artists remember energy more than ticket numbers. Okay. If a crowd screams loud enough when a guitarist bends a string, guess what? he's going to get booked again. Think about that. Your show means everything. So I'm going to launch into something right here that I want to talk about as far as the show is concerned. You want to be asked back to another venue that you really like playing at one time? Fine. Put on a show. Don't just stand there and play music unless that is your show. If that's your persona, your image, go for it, okay? But the bands that interact with the audience, make eye contact with the audience, and play to individuals, not just the entire group and stuff. Those are the ones that the crowd remembers, and those are the bands that the crowd goes to the boss and says, hey, this is a good one. You got to keep this one, bring them back, okay? Think about that. Think about some of the bands around town that have an act. They're always booked. Need I mention Brandon Giles? I mean, if you've not seen a Brandon Giles show, you really ought to, because he puts on a show. And folks, Brandon Giles puts on a show that's like Vegas quality, and you don't have to pay admission to get in to see him play. He's at Johnny B's front porch every Tuesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I was there 2 weeks ago, and I filmed a promo there. The place was packed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You couldn't find a place to sit down. So, but when you see Brandon Giles and his band perform, you know they are putting on a show. It's just the way they react. Gretsch Lyles and the Modern Eldorados, there you go. I mean, talk about the band performs in uniform, in costume, in suits for the most part. But the music and the performance and the presentation, you know, it's totally professional. You know, these are just some of the bands that I'm thinking of. Bangarang Peter, okay? When you see them perform around, especially when Jesse was with them, they were always in some kind of weird costume, some kind of cool theme. So all I'm saying is, be creative, stand out amongst the crowd. Don't be just like any other band in your genre, just going up there doing your thing and sitting down. You become essentially a musical human jukebox when you play like that. You know what I mean? Smile, please smile when you're up there. Okay, show some emotion. Okay, all of that will help you get future gigs. There's no doubt about it. All right. All right, this is a spotlight. Let's not forget the heartbeat of what's going on in Pensacola, and that's the local musicians. Pensacola's underground scene, by the way, is stacked with indie rock bands playing DIY shows at just about any place. I'm going to give a shout out to Patrick Sullivan and Jersey Shore Shark Attack, a two-man band who is definitely into doing shows himself. He's done them in living rooms and private parties, and now he's starting to get some recognition that he and his partner deserves. So look for him on a future show too, because we're going to be talking about that genre in depth. Jazz musicians, we've got jazz and blues and R&B artists in this town that could easily be touring internationally or worldwide. Many of them do have their own music and publish it locally. Mello Allen, the Funkheads. Mello's got some of his own original music. Jim George, drummer for Vinyl Revival and Harrison Avenue, has his own music as well that he produces. So there's a lot of original music out there. The band that Jesse and I are playing with this weekend at Pensacon, Never Ending. Shelly's got 3 or 4 or 5 numbers out right now in circulation on all platforms, okay? That's where you want to be if you really want to take your musical career someplace and go someplace with it. So anyway, we also have rappers recording studio level tracks out of their bedroom. And that's a fact. There's a lot of music that's produced around here. You have no idea that's produced in somebody's room or a bedroom turned into a studio. You never know. So anyway, I want to hear from you. Drop me a message, okay? I'll give you a little hint that the reason I can be 2 places at one time, as I said in one of my promos, is because this is being pre-recorded, but pre-recorded live with no breaks, no interruptions, all the way through, so it's still unscripted, real and raw, and in your face, okay? So, I want to know about the best live show you've ever seen in Pensacola. Which local artist should we interview next? Or worst concert experience? Yeah, because we do want the drama. We want to hear what's going on, okay, from you. So, without further ado, we're going to move right into the interview section of the show. And I wanted to introduce to you a man that's been around the Pensacola music scene for some time now. He's played with many, many, many bands and many, many, many artists all over Pensacola. Is currently working on 2 or 3 projects at one time with several different bands. So the man's busy. And I think you're going to find this person very interesting. I admire him. I respect him for his playing ability and for his brain. The man's a wonderful talker, and you're going to find out in just a second, because I'm going to introduce him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, may I please introduce Jesse O Neal.
Hey,
come on in. How you doing? Sit down, sit down, sit down.
What you call your paso.
Yeah. Go ahead and have a seat, man.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Well, I am vertical and this side of the dirt, so it seems to be doing all right.
Yeah, we can always brag about that when it happens, that's for sure.
Not always, because when it doesn't, you won't be bragging.
See? I told you.
That's not brains, that's smart ass.
That's all right. That's more than welcome here on this show, I can tell you right now. So, anyway, I just have a couple quick questions I want to ask you, and then we're going to move on to, some more fun stuff and everything. But to start off with, what would you say is the single most important thing you could tell an upcoming bass player in bands coming up? What direction would you give him? What advice would you give him? And give me at least 2 serious sentences, and then you can go ahead. You can do whatever you want after that. No, but seriously, I mean, because like I said at the intro, I respect your playing. I respect your attitude when it comes to music and sound and so forth. You want things right, just like most of us do. And that's admirable, and it's very hard to find nowadays in the music community. So what would you say to a young, upcoming bass player?
Well, being a bass player, I think it just comes naturally. It might not even need saying, but other instrumentalists tend to listen to themselves when they play.
Right.
And I've known bass players who do that too, and sometimes it works, but really always listening to the room rather than just what your ears are giving you from, on the bass clef is the big part. Breathing. I've known so many bass, especially when you're playing something tricky or fast, that you.
Oh.
And I've seen people do that, and they wonder why their hands go numb and things like that. So breathing is because singers have to do it without thinking about it. And horn players, wind players. String players I've seen even in orchestras, they really aren't conscious of maintaining just a level breathing. You do it with the beat, that kind of thing.
But when a drummer holds his breath, he passes out.
I've seen bass players do it too.
Oh, wow.
Musicians will pass out for a number of reasons.
Yeah, I know.
And oxygen deprivation is definitely one of them. But those are the 2 big ones. As far as the instrument itself, I'm totally self-taught. So you mash on this end and you thwack on this end.
I love it.
And another trick is you get your brain out of the equation. Just I think of it as putting my ears directly in contact with my fingers without my brain having to be involved at all. And your fingers will then adjust according to what your ears want. And that way I'm not thinking about consciously the things that you can get tied up in, all the tedious stuff, because you can psychoanalyze and microanalyze everything to a point where now you've lost the thread.
Yeah.
And the important thing is never to lose the thread in any kind of music.
Exactly. Let me shift a little bit here. Growing up,
whenever that's going to happen.
Yeah, whenever that. Okay, while you were learning, when that's not done yet either.
Okay.
Who were your influences as a musician? Who really moved you, and who did you aspire to play like?
Oh, well, it started with Prince.
Okay.
I was 9 years old when Purple Rain came out, and that was just it for me. Of course, this was a very visual era in music too. That was right in the beginning, you know, and of
Right.
course I had cable, and but there was something so much more going on there. But within a week, it went, just because I love speed and, you know, just being in the suburbs, it went straight from Prince to Iron Maiden and Rush. You know,
There you go.
yeah.
There you go. Uh-huh.
And I still love both of those groups, and a lot of other stuff that I, you know, outgrew, I'm glad to say. But at the same time, I loved pop radio at the time. I loved the mid '80s dance music. I love NXS and U2 and things like that. And
That was my next question. I'm glad. No, I'm glad you went into it. Continue, please. I mean,
okay, well,
80s music was definitely a profound decade. There's no doubt about it. You know,
yeah,
I mean,
well, and just, you know, the drums alone, you know, Phil Collins on those drums.
You
Anyway,
bet.
but I learned about this guy out of Fort Lauderdale named Jocko the week after he died. And so that was how I got into jazz, which I hated at first, and I had to make myself figure out what's so good about it.
wow.
And and around the same time, though, Sting had done the Dream of the Blue Turtles album, which I still love too. And there's a lot of jazz there. I mean, it's all Miles Davis's band members, but it took me a long time to get to it. And I think it was Branford Marsalis, I think, that put it really well when he says, "Great art doesn't come to you. You have to go to it. You don't just sit down and get Shakespeare. You have to really work at it, you know."
Wow.
Some of the real high-end restaurants that cook, you know, organs and things like that, you really have to develop a taste for that kind of thing. But once you do, you have a whole new vocabulary.
Right.
And then at 15, really 16, I kind of realized that all of the headbanger friends that I thought I was friends with at the time probably weren't going pro. We spent more time talking about playing music
Right.
than we ever actually
Sure,
did it. And plus they kept getting arrested. I mean, it's hard to...
That's always a problem.
Yeah, so I realized this is kind of a dead-end street here. And, you know, your world gets bigger as you grow. And so at 16, I cut off all my hair and started dressing the way I wanted to. And I joined I was very lucky, even though it was a horrible public school I was going to at the time, that we did have an orchestra still, and a really great drama department, and also the choir.
Awesome.
You know, and my teacher at the time, Terry Sanford, he was really about the best teacher I've ever had.
Is that right?
And he and another friend of mine who are no longer with us, Brian Ailey, really got me into opera and classical, and I still love that to this day.
Wow.
That's my music, like when I'm by myself and I don't
Sure.
have to listen to anybody else make fun of it.
And we all have it. That's great.
That's what
Classical,
I put on.
man. Well, you know what? That makes sense, because when I watch you play and I play with you, you sometimes can do some pretty classical riffs.
Well, there it is. You know, it's all part of the gumbo of what will work, and especially in rock and roll, you know, most of it, you got 3 chords, and you got to find, as a rhythmist, you have to find, I just coined a word.
That's a good word.
That's a new word. Yeah. I think that's probably a real word.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, you have to find 100 different ways to make those same 3 chords not sound like the same song over and over again.
That's for sure.
And so all the little nuances, and the more you listen to, the more you have to draw from. I love Qawwali music out of Pakistan. Yeah.
Well, the drumming in that is insane. Oh,
yeah,
man,
and the vocalization,
Yeah.
all of it. I
Goodness.
really love that kind of music as well. So
Wow.
the more I hear, the more I love. Bulgarian wedding music is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they shift time signatures. Just, you got to be involved. You got to have grown up in it, I think, to understand it, because I don't know
It's a whole different structure of music. I mean, isn't it? I mean, the way they're phrasing and everything is all set up. And if you don't know that, and if you're not familiar with that, then you can really mess up the stuff.
Oh, I've tried and tried and tried.
Man. Okay, we're going to move into a next part of the interview. I understand, actually I requested Jesse to bring some of his creations with him today to showcase on my show. And I know we have 2 over here. that are really, really, really a very important piece. Basically, he's got 8 of them all together, I believe, that he's put together, that he's built from scratch, from nothing, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you call, and whether he calls himself that or not, a luthier. That's someone who makes and builds stringed instruments.
Yeah.
All kinds. And he is a master at what he does. Grab one of them bad boys and bring it over here so we can talk about it, please, sir.
Well, this one is my carousel horse. I made this one 7 years ago, just before I moved back home.
Would you look at that? Look at this.
Yeah, this is my favorite still, I got to admit. Just,
man. What is that? That you got a rainbow sparkle hat going on.
Well, you know.
Wow.
And
on the back. Yeah.
But yeah, this was the direct result of an adolescent spent doodling guitar shapes instead of schoolwork. Look at me now.
Now this one has a name?
This one's Cthulhu.
Cthulhu.
Yeah, with the holes in it and everything, and you know I'm a Lovecraft fan, and so that's kind of where that came from. And you know we have a special effects department, right? And yeah, we got a couple of different things going on.
When this man plays, it's always a different show. Look at this.
Yeah. Well, it's useful on a dark stage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like tacky. That's really what it comes down to.
You always play wireless when you play bass, when you're playing with a band, right?
Well, I don't have to.
Yeah.
That came out of that I'm also usually running the sound. And so to check what it sounds like out front, I had to get out there. Then it became this other thing because I'm a theater nerd. And
Jesse and I and a man named Tyler Morrison recently played a benefit show at Eagles Talon Motorcycles and stuff. And he got out in front, and we just kept going and let him go do his thing. He ended up on top of a picnic table. People went nuts. It was absolutely crazy. But you never know what this man's going to do at any given time at any given show.
I'll dance on your van.
Yeah.
As long as it's I think it's 60 yards away from the receiver. I can do it. Yeah.
All right.
So that's Cthulhu.
Yeah.
And
now I just noticed there's multiple strings on that. Now how many strings is this one?
This one is 10.
That's a 10 string. 10 string.
So you get your
bass.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like having a rhythm guitar player. You only had to pay once.
Hey.
You know, along with the bass player. So that's Cthulhu, and then shortly after I moved here, I was in a band. We never used a set list.
Oh boy!
And yeah, and there's certain things I like the fretless on, and certain things I like the fretted, but I never knew what was coming next. And so I made this guy really as a utility instrument, and I named it Tron. It glows in the dark. It's a lot of fun.
Man.
But yeah, you know, and then I learned I can go back and forth, you know, between the two necks in the same song. And yeah, this one's a lot of fun too.
Is there now? Tell me in the tuning. I see these pickups are different than these over here. You want to explain the difference in those two?
Well, on a fretless, people tend to use a different configuration than they do with a fretted. In that, a real mid-rangey, almost a trombone-like sound you get from having the pickups here on toward the back, closer to the bridge. It's a little more of a vocal sound.
Gotcha.
And then the pickups being up here and of a different design. This is more of a thump, more of a Motown kind of sound. Mm-hmm. And so it's to further separate sonically what these two do.
And are they tuned
to
the same range, or are they different?
No, they're the same. They're the same notes. It's just that this one doesn't have frets.
Oh,
so I can slide, and this one I have a much more definite attack where the note is.
Wow.
So, and each of them have their uses. It's just this is kind of my Swiss Army knife.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Well, and it's nice on some of these small stages we got around town because there's not all the end.
Yeah.
You know, like on some other stuff that I have. And
could you show the back to everybody and show the curvature of the?
Oh yeah. Well,
all of his guitars have this signature design on the back, and he's going to tell you why right now.
Well, you know, as we get older and. You know, we have Crisolas, just a little quick plug, the cheesecake place down the way. Oh,
good.
Yes,
right.
They are. Yeah. So yeah, no, and it just kind of hugs and conforms. And in this case too, it allowed me to angle the two necks a little bit too, so they weren't straight on top of each other. But it's just, It's a little bit more like driving a Corvette versus a Toyota Tercel hatchback. Well, this whole thing started because I had access to power tools.
Oh boy!
And being Gen X, I had absolutely no parental supervision, and so I couldn't afford what I wanted, and nobody was making the kinds of things I had in my head, and so it just kind of snowballed from there. So I've actually been a luthier professionally since I was 21.
Wow.
And I'm 51 now, so that's 30 years.
Man.
Before that, I was always modding my friends' guitars and stuff like that. I would be on the school bus changing guitar strings and things like that. So it's just something that I've done since I was a kid. Kept me out of a lot of trouble.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's one thing about it. Look, he's got one more. But I'm not going to have him put it in his lap because I'm going to have him play that one. And it is if you can believe this, a 15-string bass guitar. And it's absolutely gorgeous.
I'm compensating for a lot.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you the opportunity to express that. Because what we're going to do right now is we're going to shift to the semi-entertainment portion of the show. Jesse's going to play bass, and I'm going to accompany him on the drums, and we're going to go through some riffs and some runs and see where that ends up. Before we do that, we're going to talk about his third and final creation that he brought with him today. So, Jesse, if you'll go ahead and take your position over there, sir, and I'll get up after you get up.
Okay. Oh.
There you go.
Oh, hey.
That's all right. Sit
All
down.
right, we'll leave that for the waiter.
There you go. All right.
Yes, and for everyone watching at home, this is the pants optional section.
This man has a limerick, he has a story, he has a quip, he is witty beyond belief, I'll tell you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Oh my goodness gracious.
That's what a 15-string
Look
bass
at this
looks like.
here, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Oh man.
Well, I started this bass and got
What's
this
its name?
tattoo.
What's its name?
Well, I usually just refer to it as the Prince bass, but relatedly speaking, I also call it that white bitch. But anyway, I started this one. It's obviously, if anybody's seen the movie, this is very much, I mean, it's taken from the templates that were made to make his guitar from Purple Rain. And obviously I modded it to
I'm gonna tag the attention of my producer, Chris. Could you zoom in a little bit over there on this guitar?
I can zoom in.
Yeah, right there is good.
So yeah, I started this the day after Prince died, and I
Wow.
got the tattoo, and it took me 2 years, but after 2 years, the Revolution, the band that was on Purple Rain, played in Atlanta, and I had them all autograph the back.
Oh wow!
So yeah, there's Wendy, there's Lisa, Mark, Bobby, and Matt, all of the original members of the band.
Wow.
So I don't play this one much, especially because Wendy signed right where my thumb goes a lot, and so did Lisa.
Oh boy, that could. Does it wear off? Does some of the ink wear off?
I put a clear coat over it, but
Okay.
this being Florida and with all the salt air, I don't really want to risk it, you know.
Now, I noticed, I mean, the ornateness of this instrument is just absolutely eye-catching. The gold trim that you got going around the outside and so forth right here, what is that exactly?
Tape.
That's it. How creative? Well, what the heck?
It was easy, yeah.
It beats getting the paintbrush out, right?
Well, yeah, I can't paint holograms, but because this is just hollow flash tape. But you know, it's under the lacquer, and it's all epoxied in place and things like that. But it's also, even though I don't play much, it is meant to be played. This is not. I don't make glass case stuff.
Right.
But
Wow.
yeah, this is a fun one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you, nobody in Pensacola, I believe, can put on a show like this man, play like this man, and play instruments that are visually stunning and interesting to look at while you're being entertained. I mean, it's the whole package.
The goal is to get people to look up from their phones.
Absolutely. Okay, now for the part you've all been waiting for. Because we're going to play now, okay? I'm going to start something light at first, just something nice and easy, and then let him go ahead and let the voice of that beautiful instrument express itself as only this man can do. And then we'll go into a different riff, see how that goes, and then we'll call it a day, all right? So, all right, Jesse, here we go. I'm just gonna rip right the next one because I like the funk. That's what I like to play more than anything else. I started the drums in Detroit, and it was all funk, soul, Motown, but I like James Brown, and I like the funk. So we're gonna play something funky. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse O Neal. You're going to see him around all over for the rest of the year, so better get used to it. Let me tell you something. If you get a chance, go out and see this man show someplace soon. He's been playing around, and he's playing more. And come see both of us play this weekend, Friday from 5 to 7 at Pensacon.
Good, I didn't know what time we were supposed
5
to
to
play.
7. And then we're playing again on Sunday,
Sunday,
from 3 to 4 as well at Pensacon. So thank you so much, Jesse, for coming on the show.
Thanks, Richard.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I got one more thing I got to pick off the floor, and then I'll end the show. Okay. You may go, sir. What do you think about that? I had fun. I had a blast. I tell you what, it's always fun playing with this guy. You should have seen us in rehearsals. Not for this. We didn't rehearse any of this. This is all on the fly, off the cuff. Anyway, yeah, I didn't think it happened on a live show. You never know. So I hope you've enjoyed everything today and the interview with Jesse. To wrap up, I just want to say a few more shows coming up. I didn't do it at the beginning, and I should have, and I apologize. But tonight, Friday, Jack Grimley's Joker's Wild is going to be at Perdido Key Sports Bar. That's Judy Davis's spot. It's a great place to go have a meal, and it's a great place for live entertainment. And then the next day, Saturday, from 7:30 to 10:30, Jack will be playing at Goat Lips Chew and Brew over on Copter Road. Brandon Giles at the Purple Parrot tonight. You can catch his show up until 10 p.m. And he's going to be at Johnny B's front porch tomorrow from 6 to 10 p.m. for a full evening show. Tonight is gallery night, by the way. And it's Pensacon Gallery night, which means that a lot of people are going to be showing up downtown in crazy costumes and acting the fool. You know, that's what gallery night's all about. There's also plenty of live entertainment down there. If you go down there, make sure you check out the youth stage, because there has been some young bands come through there that just have blown the beat man away. Absolutely fantastic. As a matter of fact, I think if you look at some gallery night coverage on my feed, you'll see a band by the name of the Sick Dragons. 3 young men, and they bring it down. I'm telling you, they're just as professional as any band I've ever seen anywhere else. Sick Dragons, you know, think about that one. Okay. And then, of course, we have Pensacon from 5 to 7 and 3 to 4 in the afternoon on Sunday. Also tonight, Me and the Misfits. That is going to be playing at Five Sisters Blues Cafe from 6 to 10 p.m. Lee Maskery's band. Yeah, if you ever heard Lee, he's had many bands. He's been in many bands. He's playing with Vinyl Revival right now with Jim George. That's a great outfit. You ought to go see them play. And speaking of Vinyl Revival, they're going to be at Juana's Pagodas tomorrow. That's Saturday from 9 o'clock till 1 a.m. And now time for some closing thoughts. And I hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Listen, I still need some more subscribers on my YouTube channel. Could you help me out here? I think I only need maybe 10 or 15 more. And then I can do this live on YouTube, which is where I'm headed. I mean, I want my YouTube channel to be the one to really focus on. But I'm using social media and Instagram and Facebook right now in the meantime and stuff. But remember, get out, see a show this weekend. There's plenty to do, so much to see, so much great local music to hear. Get out and support the local music scene here in Pensacola, okay? The artists will appreciate it, the venue owners will certainly appreciate it, and the general public, you will really, really, really appreciate it because we've got so much to offer here in Pensacola. So for now, I'm the Beat Man, Rich Navarre, saying later.